Such a little upgrade that makes such a big difference on 4.6s, the coil packs. Time to put Accel power packs on here. So what I recommend is extension and a 7 and a little ratchet. Unplug all your wires and loosen the bolts and start pulling the coil packs. I'll show you more on that in a minute. Also, if you can, locate a magnet tray. So when you take out those bolts, you put them in the magnet. So when you're ready and you've got your bolt out, what I do is make sure they're free, give them a little twist, and then you just want to pull very gently. Should come out easy. Watch out for your fuel injector wire. And there we go. And that's how that's done. Do that with each one. And also make sure you inspect there for corrosion. If not, they sell the boot and spring kit. Just replace the spring in the boot. So a lot of people wonder why coil packs go out on Fords. One, it can be internal in this part. But usually what happens is you get a lot of corrosion in this spring. And what you can do is you can pop this boot off. This boot comes right off. And I'll show you a little bit more on the inside. And it just condensation and time, you just get a lot of corrosion, just like a cap or a rotor, and eventually you just don't get any spark, and it puts such a resistance on it, usually the coil pack decides to just quit. So you can see the boot slides right off, and you have the spring in here, and the spring goes right inside of here. I'm going to take the spring off and show you, and it kind of just twists in. It goes on a little tooth, almost like a fuse tooth, and that's usually where it gets corroded, is inside of there. So I'll show you. So I've twisted the spring off, and I don't know if you guys can see, but in there, there's the tooth. Looks like a fuse tooth almost, like I said. That gets really corroded, and that's where you start losing your spark. So if you can, get in there with a little file or a brush if you want to keep your original ones. Me, I'm going with Accel power packs, and clean that. And like I said, you can get the spring replacement kit and the boot kit, and usually that gets them back up to par. But yeah, that's about it to a coil pack. And moving along. Once you've put it back together, it should look like this. If you've chosen to stick with the original OEM. Some people do. Me, I'm more aftermarket. So these are what I'm upgrading to. Accel Super Coil Packs. You can get them at your local O'Reilly's, AutoZone. They come wrapped pretty nicely. Take the wrapping off, and that's what they look like. Pretty cool. Alright, let's get them on there. So when you get them all installed, they'll look a little something like this, all bright and yellow. And these are awesome. Now the one thing I did notice is that the boots seem to be a little bit longer. Don't be alarmed. Just make sure they sit in there nice, and they go on there pretty well, like I said. And we'll fire it up. I'm going to do the other side here in a minute. Now as we come to the other side, pretty much the same thing. And there, I did want to just tell you, there's a couple options as far as if the wires are getting in your way. You can pull all the fuel injectors, and then right back here you'll see that this wiring harness is just attached to this bolt right here. So you can pull up on the wiring harness and it'll detach from the bolt, and you can take this whole harness and move it off to the side. Me, I don't really care so much about doing that. Not a big deal for me. So I'm gonna get these off of here, and let's get the new ones on. Now that we got the new coil packs on there, it's firing nice. Some people do this to replace a misfire. I just do it for a little bit better performance, quicker acceleration. Yeah, there you go. Give you guys just a little. Here's just burn.